Thank you, Chairperson. Honourable Minister. The ACDP fully appreciates the severe challenges the SOCs present, not only to the fiscus, but to the economy as a whole. We saw a 3.2% contraction in GDP for the first quarter of the year, which many attribute to Eskom's load shedding. And we were given the impression that the massive amount Treasury set aside each year for 10 years, that will be 230 billion, would be enough of a bailout for Eskom. Now it appears that this may be insufficient and that Eskom may need more than the first year's allocation of 23 billion. And this is deeply disturbing. And we as parliamentarians will need to exercise our oversight over any proposed bailout. And this we will do when the special appropriation bill is introduced. Now, Minister, having served on the Eskom oversight inquiry in the last parliament with a number of members here, like the Honourable Mazzoni, we have some idea of the looting that took place. However, the further evidence before the Zondo Commission has given an indication of the far greater severity of state capture and corruption that occurred at the SOCs. In this regard, we are, however, pleased that there has been some recovery, and well done to Eskom for the recovery of the almost 1 billion rand, which was repaid by McKinsey, mainly at our encouragement to go after that money. And then, of course, the 600 million that was recovered from Trillion via a court process. So much more needs to be done in this regard. And those that have been involved must not only the money be recovered, but they must be arrested and charged. And I've long said, we don't have to wait for the Zondo Commission. And another member said, we don't have to wait for that. Let us go after those that are involved in state capture. Now, if one also considers the role of certain compromised companies, that must also be considered. The role of Trillion, Tegeta, McKinsey, the role of Bain and KPMG played in the hollowing out of SARS. These private entities must also be held accountable. And the question is, as is indicated, Minister, whether I think these were your words, a hurried apology and the repayment of fees is sufficient. We think not, and we consider the damage that is done to the country. And of course, we also where I serve on the Justice Committee, we did receive an update from the NPA boss, Advocate Shamila Batohi, and the new head of the Investigative Directorate, Advocate Cronje. They are investigating. Progress is being made, but clearly there are budgetary constraints in that regard. And these are complex matters. Forensics, they are very complex, requiring a lot of funding. In addition, both the asset forfeiture and special investigation units are making progress, and we welcome the special tribunal, which will expedite civil claims to recover ill-gotten gains expeditiously. Chairperson, I have also long argued that those units need to have their budgets increased substantially so that they can quickly recover the ill-gotten gains. Minister, just lastly, the extent of the pushback of the reformist agenda and the holding to account all those implicated in state capture is evident, no more so than today, with the disgraceful conduct that we saw in this House. We in the ACDP condemn it in the strongest possible terms. And we agree that what we witnessed was indeed a defense of state capture. You, Minister, served with us in the Eskom inquiry. I said then, as I say today, we, including you, Minister, as you said earlier, will not be intimidated. We will stand resolute and determined to expose corruption and state capture and to hold those involved accountable. And may I add in conclusion that as we stand firmly, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Swart.